Hello everyone, my name is Alanah Bullock and I will be introducing our project. Our project is the seasonal changes and migratory differences of the Cooper and red-tailed hawk. This was conducted by Alanah Bullock, Raymond Mitchell, Shane Taylor, and Zyiara Bradley. Furthermore, I will now start with the introduction. Birds of prey refers to any bird that preys on another living animal. However, this term encompasses the mass majority of the bird species alive today. A well-known bird of prey is a hawk. Hawks have been shown to be able to use weather changes to determine their arrival time. Hawks have also been shown to change flight patterns following changing migratory behavior of their prey. This shows that migratory patterns are sensitive to biotic and abiotic factors. Growing climates will surely disrupt the clock of the ecosystem with regards to predatory behavior. As these changes have been long established, researchers are working to determine which species are the most susceptible to these changes. One such species has been noted to be the red-tailed hawk. Another species that has also shown resilience to weather changes is the Cooper hawk. This study will focus on the migratory patterns of hawks at the Ashland Nature Center in Delaware. Our research question is, how do the seasons change affect the flight pattern and migration of red-tailed hawks compared to Cooper hawk? Our hypothesis is, due to the Cooper's hawk showing resilience to the climate change, the daily temperature changes will affect the red-tailed hawk more as it migrates from the Ashland Nature Center. The null hypothesis is, the temperature changes have no effect on the migratory behavior of the Cooper's or red-tailed hawk.
Methodology. The study site is the Ashland Nature Center in Hokanson, Delaware. It comprises 130 acres of marsh, woodland, and meadows. The winters are frigid at the Nature Center due to the state's close proximity to the sea. Temperatures can vary from 8 to 36 degrees Fahrenheit. The forest and woodland habitats provides shelter for various animals and plants. Data collected from the Ashland Nature Center's raptors populations were collected over the course of 3 months. The total number of hawks was counted and the factors that will play a role in their migration. These factors include temperature, wind speed, wind direction, and precipitation, if any. Once a day, researchers recorded the number of raptors from their respective species between 21 different species. The numbers recorded in relation to climates recorded by the researchers to track the raptors' migration routes. This study provides graphs and charts to better represent the data collected. Data will constitute weather records, daily temperature changes, and wind changes.
My name is Shane Taylor, and I will report our findings. Regarding diversity, the data we provided represents the presence or absence of various species over 3 months. In September, there were 15 species present, and in the 2 months following, October and November, the presence increased to 17 species, as shown in Figure 2.1. Though diversity did not show any trends, the abundance of individuals within the species did show a trend. There were no visible trends among the number of species encountered as the fall season progressed. The month that yielded the most species and, in turn, the most diverse was the month of October. Overall, the population experienced between 88 and 100% similarity from September to November, shown in Figure 1.1, suggesting that not much complete migration occurred throughout the research, only partial migration. Though diversity did not show any trends, the abundance of individuals within the species did show a trend. The abundance of species of the fall, the most abundant species of the fall was osprey, shown in Figure 2.1. Species abundance was the most frequent and diverse through the end of October. The black vulture and the broad-shouldered hawk showed the greatest abundance. In analyzing fundamental patterns concerning abundance and richness, shown in Figure 2.2, these results were replicated. Some hawks showed greater abundance than others. Some species, such as the unknown falcon and the unknown raptor, showed a steep increase after the 4th sample. Abundance was more significant in the later weeks of the season.
So in conclusion, the research conducted has solidified the fact that there is an optimal window for migration amongst these bird of prey species, which falls somewhere around October with the change of the seasons, bringing in some of the warm air from the summer and the cooler air from the winter. However, with that being said, we were focused on the migration patterns of the Cooper's hawk and the red-tailed hawk. So it appears that despite this optimal window, there was no significant differences regarding the migration patterns between the Cooper's hawk and the red-tailed hawk. So the null hypothesis is accepted, and in addition to that, there was no major difference between the Cooper's hawk and the red-tailed hawk's migratory behavior, like between each other. So with that being said, in a broader context, the research we have done relates to biology through our studying of ecology, specifically biotic and abiotic factors. So this just goes to show that hawks are susceptible to ecological changes and the domino effect that this has on the food chain. Basically, with the changes in hawk behavior, the prey behavior will change as well. So before we wrap up, we just want to take the time to acknowledge the fact that we could not have completed this research without everyone's cooperation in the group. I'd like to express our gratitude to Hampton University for providing the funding for the research, as well as Dr. Sean Dash for the guidance about this research and providing us all the tools that we needed to get the job done. So I'd also like to thank Ashland Nature Center for helping us to collect samples and the data that we needed to complete this study. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to our presentation. And that wraps up our presentation.